Hello friends, welcome to Excel classes. Today we are going to discuss about matrix multiplication. We are going to see how and when two matrix is going to be multiplied. Suppose two matrices are given. The first matrix is matrix A, which is of the order m by n, and the second matrix is matrix B, which is of the order p by q. So when we are going to multiply matrix A by matrix B, first of all we have to check the order of both the matrices. How? Like the first matrix is of order m by n, so I have written m by n first, and then p by q is the order of the second matrix, so I have written it after it. So in order to multiply these two matrices, first of all we have to see the number of columns in the first matrix and the number of rows in the second matrix. This should be equal. The first matrix here is matrix A and the second matrix is B. So here n should be equal to p. If this condition is true, then and only the multiplication of the matrices A and B is possible. Otherwise, these two matrices cannot be multiplied. So if n is equal to p, then the order of the matrix A into B, suppose if we multiply A into B and we get a matrix C, so its order will be, the number of rows will be from the first matrix and the number of columns will be from the second matrix. So the order will be m by q. That is why the order of the matrix C is m by q. So the condition for the multiplication of any two matrices is that the number of columns in the first matrix should be equal to number of rows in the second matrix. Okay, so this is the condition which is going to be checked every time before we are going to multiply any two matrices. As for example, suppose if matrix A is of the order 2 by 3 and matrix B is of the order 3 by 2, so before multiplying A and B, we have to check at the number of columns in the first matrix, which is 3 here, should be equal to the number of rows of the second matrix, which is also 3 here. So this condition is satisfied. So that is why we can say that A and B are going to be multiplied. And suppose if matrix C comes after multiplying A and B, so what will be its order? Its order will be like 2 by 2. The number of rows from the first matrix and the number of columns from the second matrix. So matrix C is of the order 2 by 2. Let us again see one more example. Suppose if matrix A is of the order 3 by 2 and matrix B is of the order 2 by 4. So if we are going to multiply A and B, first of all we have to check for the condition that the number of columns in the first matrix, which is matrix A, is equal to number of rows in the second matrix, which is matrix B, and here 2 is equal to 2. It is true. So this means that A and B is going to be multiplied. And suppose if we get a matrix C, so its order will be 3 by 4, the number of rows from the first matrix and the number of columns from the second matrix. So we have just seen the condition for the multiplication of two matrices. But how the two matrices is going to multiplied, let us see now, because that is what we have not discussed yet. Suppose two matrices are given A and B of the order 2 by 3 and 3 by 2, and we have to find out the product of the matrix A into B. So before multiplying A and matrix B, we have to check their order. We have to check the condition whether the two matrices satisfy the condition for multiplication of two matrix. Order of the matrix A is 2 by 3 and the order of matrix B is 3 by 2. So here the number of column equals to number of rows. Yes, it is equal. 3 equals to 3 because A is of the order 2 by 3 and B is of the order 3 by 2. So the number of columns of the first matrix, which is 3 here, is equal to number of rows of the second matrix. Yes, it is true. 3 equals to 3. So the order of the matrix A times B will be 2 by 2. Okay, So suppose if we are getting a matrix C here, it will be of the order 2 by 2. But how will we find the elements of the matrix C? So for that, first of all, write the matrix A, that is 2, 5. So this is matrix A, and then write matrix B, which is 1, 9, minus 2, 0, 3, 6. So this is matrix B. We have written A into matrix B, and we know that the resultant matrix C will be of the order 2 by 2, that is 2 rows and 2 columns. So in order to find the resultant matrix, we have to find 4 elements, because its order is 2 by 2. So number of elements will be 2 times 2, that is 4. So for the element of the first row and first column, let us give a blank. So in order to find this element, whenever we are going to multiply two matrices, suppose here A is multiplied by B, then while multiplication we have to always select from the first matrix rows and from the second matrix columns. This is the rule. From the first matrix rows are selected, the row is selected, and from the second matrix column is selected, and then the corresponding element of the row and column is added. And then the corresponding element of the row and column is multiplied and then added. So what it means, let us see in this example. Here the first row is 2, 5, 6. This is the first row and this is the first column. Why I am selecting it? Because to find the element of the first row and first column, we are observing that the element lies in the first row and first column. So in order to find the value of any element, we have to select the row in which the element is lying, which is the first row here, and also the column in which the element is lying. The row needs to be selected from the first matrix and the column needs to be selected from the second matrix. Okay, so let us write this first row and first column separately in order to see how we are going to multiply the elements and then add them. So the first row is like 2, 5 and 6, and the first column is 1, minus 2 and 3. We can see here the first element of the first row is 2 here, and the first element of the first column is 1. So first of all we should multiply them, and then the second element of the first row is 5 and the second element of the first column is minus 2. So they should also be multiplied, like 5 times minus 2. And finally the last element of the first row is 6 here, and the last element of the first column is 3. So 6 is multiplied by 3. Now we should add the products in order to get the value of the element of the first row and first column. I have just written this thing here in order to understand why we are selecting the first row and the first column. Otherwise, when we will be habituated to multiply two matrices, we don't need to write this index as well as this blank. Now let us see how to find the element of the first row and second column, because this matrix has two columns. So for finding the value of the element of first row and second column, see the index of the element. The row index is 1, which means we have to select the first row, and the column index is 2, which means we have to select this second column. So let us write the second column here, which is 9, 0 and 6, and similarly we can multiply the corresponding elements of the row and column to evaluate the value of the element, which will be like the first element of the first row is 2 and the first element of the second column is 9. So 2 is multiplied by 9, and similarly the second element of the first row is 5 and the second element of the second column is 0. So 5 is multiplied by 0, and lastly the last element of the first row is 6 and the last element of the second column is also 6. So 6 is multiplied by 6, and then we should add the products. Okay, Now since there is only 2 columns in the resultant matrix, therefore there will be no element of the first and third column. Now we need to move on to the second row. So we need to find the value of this second row and first column. See the index clearly here. Second row, first column. So the row which needs to be selected is the second row now from the first matrix A, and the column which needs to be selected is the first column from the second matrix. Okay, and then the corresponding elements should be multiplied and then added. So we should select second row, which is 3, 1, 7, and the first column, which is 1, minus 2 and 3. And now we should multiply the corresponding elements, that is 3 should be multiplied by 1, and then plus 1 should be multiplied by minus 2, and then finally 7 should be multiplied by 3, and we have added these products. Okay, and finally for the element of the second row, second column, we need to select the second row from the first matrix and second column from the second matrix. So here we should remove it with 9, 0 and 6, and then we should multiply the corresponding elements and then add them as we have done for the other 3 elements. So it will be 3 times 9 plus 1 times 0 plus 7 times 6. So this will be our resultant matrix. So we should just simplify it in order to get our final matrix, which will be 2 times 1 is 2 minus 10 plus 18. 18 plus 2 is 20. 20 minus 10 is 10. 2 times 9 is 18 plus 36 is 54. And then 3 times 1 is 3. 7 times 3 is 21. 21 plus 3 is 24. Minus 2 is 22. And finally 3 times 9 is 27 plus 7 times 6 is 42, and this is 0. So 42 plus 27, it is 69. So this is the matrix which we have got after multiplying matrix A into matrix B. So guys, that's it for today. I hope that you would have liked this video, and if you have find it beneficial, then please do share it with your friends, and also if you have any confusion, then please do comment in the comment box, and don't forget to subscribe if you have not yet subscribed it. And if you want to connect with me on Facebook, then follow this link fb.com/excelclasses Patna, and then you'll get my Facebook page. You can message me there and can like the page if you wish to. So hope to see you in the next video. Thank you for watching the video.